Hello, you guys. Hey, you guys. Good evening. How are you? So basically, you guys, hold on one second. Let me Hey, Christopher, and thank you again, hon. Thank you so much. I appreciate it so much. Okay. So, hey, you guys, how are you? I am gonna finish getting ready. Okay. So, while I finish getting ready real quick to go to dinner, I'm going to drop the link, and whoever would like to come up to join in the conversation, I would love for whoever is interested, or I'll just be reading the comments. So, but basically, while I wait on people to come up, I'm going to give some thoughts and opinions on colorism, shadeism, um, just, what we see on a daily here. Thank you, Brown Sugar. Hey, Love Blake. Thank you, babe. So I'm going to turn the camera off while I get ready, okay? And then I will definitely be back on. Monita, hey, boo. Thank you. Yeah, it came out pretty nice and with everything put together. So let me turn off the camera while I go ahead and get dressed. Um, and then I'm going to drop the link, and then whoever wants to come up is more than welcome to come up. But in the meantime, I'll just talk, of course, um, about what I'll talk about my own personal experiences and also things that I see going on the internet, because that's where we are interacting. So that's pretty much where I will keep my thoughts for the most part. Let's see here. So how's y'all day going so far? I really initially I was scheduling this for later on after dinner, but I didn't want it to get into being too late. So I went ahead and kept it for a little bit earlier. So excuse me for getting dressed during this conversation, but I wanted to shit my bad. I'm sorry, I'm trying to drop the damn link if it'll act right. There we go. Um but I wanted to have the conversation today because I'm already a day late. So, and then of course we can always continue on. Hello, Aussie in activity. How you doing, babe? So, you guys, so we're gonna talk about. I'm gonna speak on shadeism, okay? Because by definition, colorism is, the prejudice towards darker skinned people by lighter skinned people, preferably in our same ethnicity or our same ethnic background. Okay, so by definition, I can't really speak on colorism, because I am lighter skinned, so I'm on the opposite end. Okay, now let me know if you guys can hear me okay with where I have you right now. Um, I'm good, all seen. I'm good, hon. Thank you so much for stopping by. Okay, so you guys can hear me okay? I hope. Um, you can hear? Okay, thank you so much, Manny. Thank you, babe. All right, so let me just speak on Ask April and her experiences, okay? And I'll just give you guys some background of me, okay? So I am a biracial female. My father is black and my mother is white, okay? I grew up in on the black side of my family, neighborhoods, my family period. I grew up on the black side, okay? Um, and I will say that I did have some relationship with the white side of my family. I had some relationship, okay, but not very much, okay. There was a period of time where I did go to my grandmother's home and things like that. Um, but it didn't last long. And then I do have, my mother has brothers and sisters. And, there were some periods of time where we would engage during holidays and things like that. But it wasn't an ongoing relationship that was being built. It was just, one year we may go and then, the other years we didn't, right? Um, Later on, I did find out, of course, that that was mainly because of my mother's choice of who she chose to marry and have children with. So, hi Tracy, how you doing, babe? So the relationship really wasn't there for her and her family. So, it really wouldn't be there for her children and her family, right? Because if she doesn't have the relationship, how will we? Hey Donna, how you doing, babe? So, you grow up, you get older, okay? So you don't stay a kid forever. You get older, you begin to have your own experiences and things like that. Now I will say, as a child, um, hey, Donna, hold on, does speak? Oh, so hey, so how you doing, babe? Okay, so growing up as a child, like I said, I grew up in the on the black side of my family. I can say, like, I went to majority black schools, neighborhoods, things like that is where I lived. Um, I didn't have any issues with color as far as being bullied or, um, being bullied, but I was judged. Okay. So I was not negatively, I didn't have a negative experience with the with my skin tone, um, for a long time until like I got up to junior high. And that's kind of when I seen like it was an issue with, other girls and things like that. Like I would have, situations with, girls my age with deeper skin tones. They had an issue with me, or, if, let me just say, if they did have an issue with me, okay, that's what would come up, you know, people had, I would hear things like I'm stuck up. I would hear things like I think I'm prettier than other people. I would hear that, um, it was just stuff like that. Like I'm stuck up. That's what, that's what guys would say, if a guy, expresses that he likes you and you don't return that same interest, then, you're stuck up, or, you think you're all that or whatever. And then as far as the girls go, the girls would um, have these statements about trying to take their man, or, a guy likes me over them and that sort of thing. Right, brown, you too, brown sugar. So it was like things like that where I started to see um, preference. I won't call it privilege, okay? Hey, plus, how you doing, boo? I definitely won't call that privilege, but there definitely was a period of time growing up, getting older, where you start to like you start to like boys, and boys start to like girls, and things like that. You did see that there was a preference, okay? Um, and I mean, that was the pretty much the extent of it. For me as a child, it wasn't so much of, there was no issue as far as me being biracial, but there was definitely an issue with me being lighter skinned for some people. Okay. So that's pretty much to the extent, like I said, of the what I experienced, like my eyes are, green. So, and then I had longer length hair. And so, that would be talked about, if somebody is threatening to fight me or something, they're saying they're going to cut my hair off, or, I think I'm this, I think I'm that. So there was like definitely like an assumption on lighter skin that they think they're better. So that's like the gist of what I got from most people who seem to have an issue. It was that it was an assumption, because it's definitely not what I thought, and it's not what I said. And it's not the vibe that I gave off. It was just flat out an assumption by other people who saw me as, or not just me, but people with lighter skin, they would see them as people who were preferred over others, and they would automatically think that because they're preferred that they feel like they're better, and that's not what it was. It's definitely not what it was, because you have to understand, the person on the receiving end, it's not my fault what somebody else's preference is. You know, it's not my fault who finds me attractive or who likes me, who doesn't like me. I mean, because just like there were people who did like me, there's people who didn't, you know. So that was my outlook on it. And I mean, either way, you know, I don't have any control over either one. I don't have any control over who doesn't like me, and I damn sure don't have no control over who does. So, but that's, you know, like just growing up, that's like the experience that I had in that. And then you know, so then you become an adult and, you know, you form your own thoughts and opinions, and, you know, you have your own perspective of how things are. And, you know, you're going to apply for jobs, or you're out there in the world and you do see what the world prefers, right? You do, or I won't even say the world, but you do see that there is some type of privilege there. Okay. I'm not going to deny that as a lighter skinned woman that, you know, you do see the lighter skin is preferred in a lot of things. You know, if you're looking at music videos, or the type of spouse that, you know, famous people choose, or, you know, or just a lot of things just in life, period. You know, I mean, it's just, you know, it's just if you're on the lighter side of things, it just seems like it makes some people more comfortable. Okay, especially if they are all white, it makes them more comfortable, I guess. You know, if you're in the dealings with them, if you're working in corporate. Huh. Yeah, I'm getting dressed. Oh my God. Oh, excuse me one second, you guys. I'm not using my card. Thank y'all so much. I'm so sorry about that. Thank y'all so much. Ooh, goodness. Oh, wait, it's a good thing that wasn't no damn camera slip. Lord Jesus. All right, you guys. So, um, I'm sorry. I'm trying to. All right. So thank you. Thank you. I totally understand. My mom is really light, and I saw how she was treated differently, both negatively and positively. Right. Right. So yeah. So hey, Willie Boo, Stacy. Hey. So yeah. So I mean, like I said, as I became an adult, you just you see things, see how the world works and that sort of thing. Now, there's a lot that would be considered privilege that I personally did not gain from. Okay, like people um they talk about people's like record, or they get out of certain situations, or they are allowed certain privileges and things like that because of how they look or because of their skin tone. Um, and things like that. And I have definitely seen it, but me personally, I won't say that I gained anything from that. Okay. I do have a record. I do, there was no time when I was, um, in the eyes of the law, or was able to get out of a situation legally or anything like that because of my skin tone, um, working in corporate, I can say I probably was, I did work in an area and for a company that I can definitely say I was able to do so because of me being a lighter skin tone. Okay. I can say that, but I don't even think it's all because of that. I think it has something to do with who I know also. Okay. So, that's another thing, because a lot of times it's who you know that will get you certain places and get you certain opportunities. But also, it wouldn't have happened if I didn't have a lighter skin tone. Okay. And I do know that. So, there's things like, even like Mamie said, hey Michi, even like Mamie said, negatively and positively, there were definitely things that, or experiences that I had. Like I said, part of it was growing up, I mean, people feel like they will automatically place these assumptions on you, and I never want to say that a person is, um, putting how they feel about themselves off on me or anything like that. But I mean, there's definitely something there when a person will just automatically assume that you think or feel a way that you do not feel. You didn't say you felt that way. You didn't give them any reason to think that you felt that way. Anything. It wasn't a conversation that was had. It was nothing. It's basically their thoughts. They're just automatically, because of the way you look, just judge you on thinking and feeling a certain way that you never gave them that. So so there's definitely that, that I really do not appreciate. I don't appreciate, being told that I think something about myself or feel something about myself just because I'm lighter than they are, because I've never been that person. I've been accused, not accused, but I have been assumed to think or feel certain ways. And that's never been me, it's never been me, I don't judge people on their skin tone or how they look and things like that. I've always been a person that, I judge you off of you, off of the personality, off of the vibe that I get from you, off of our interaction. I don't see you and automatically have a judgment for you. There has to be an interaction there. So that's one thing that I can say, being lighter skinned is hurtful, when people will just automatically assume that you are a certain way based on the way that you look, when you haven't even gotten to have an interaction with them yet. So, so as far as that goes, there's that. Just fast forward here to YouTube. This is the place where I say, like I've even told y'all before, talking about this, that, I've told y'all talking about this, that this is the place, like I've never had the experiences that I've had in real life that I've had on here as far as how I look. Like, they've been minor, and it was pretty much, maybe when I was a kid but not so much as being an adult. But to come here and I'm not feeling colorism at all, but it's a problem. It definitely is, Chef. It is. Um, but I came on social media, I'm used to being around Black people. Like, I don't, and it's not on purpose. When I say I don't have Black friends or haven't ever been with a Black man, I mean, I'm sorry, I'm talking backwards. When I say that I don't have any white friends or, um, haven't ever been with a white man before and those sort of things, none of that is on purpose. It's not because I just totally don't want to any interactions. It's just because I'm just not where they are, I guess, where you meet, white people at. Like I said, I grew up in Black neighborhoods. I went to Black schools. I mean, uh, there were a few people, of course, but not a whole lot. There's a few white people where I was at, but not a whole lot. I did go to high school on a side of town where there's white people. There's a mixture of mostly like white and Mexican. And then, it's very like the amount of Black people that went there was very small. But I mean, by then, by the time high school comes, you have to understand, like, by the time you get to high school, you've already formed relationships and formed, um, you grew up where you grew up, and then you go to high school and, you have those relationships that kind of cross over from elementary and junior high into high school. So when I went to the high school I went to, it was basically just to go to school and get out, because I mean, I didn't know anybody when I went there. I didn't have anybody that I knew there for me to be able to, have those continued relationships. And then, I mean, I did form a couple of friendships, but even then, I think a lot of that had to do with, me being pregnant very early. I was pregnant and, I was really just trying to get my schoolwork done and get out of there and get my credits and everything and get out. That's pretty much what I was on. But so that's a whole nother thing. But at the same time, I just didn't have a whole lot of, um, people that were non-Black that just weren't in my life. And even now, it's like, you go where, you're around the people that and who you hung around and who you knew growing up and stuff like that. So I mean, just white people weren't there. So it wasn't on purpose. Hey, Josiah. That's just how it worked out. um so to come to YouTube and just be questioned about my background or be made like I'm not Black enough to be around or engage in certain things, it was very much so odd for me because I'm like, what the hell? Like, like I'm probably as Black as it gets, okay? I mean, and not on purpose, it's just who I am, I mean, you're just who you are. I feel like, you grow up, we don't know who we're going to be when we're born into this world. We're made by our parents. Okay. So as far as our ethnic background, it just is what it is. And then to grow up, you just grow into your own person. And I just feel like you grow up into your own person, and so for people to like put thoughts and feelings on you that you don't have based on how you look or based off what their experience is with somebody who may look like you, I just think it's unfair. And that's what happens here on YouTube. They see you and they just it's an automatic judgment. And the judgment is not based on you and what you've done to them. It's based on interactions and experiences that they've had with people who look like you, and that's not my fault. And, um, I just think that that's where it should stop. I think that as far as getting a resolution when it comes to colorism, when it comes to shadeism, I feel like we need to give people a chance to be them. We need to give people that chance to show us who they are and judge them off of that. you know, and if you don't fuck with it, you don't fuck with it, you know, leave it alone and keep it moving and judge them off of that. But to judge people solely off of, hold on one second, you guys. Okay. To judge people solely off of interactions that you've had with other people and everybody who looks like them, now you want to punish them for what you went through with somebody else is unfair. It's unfair, and I think it does block blessings. I think that it could stop you from having, you know, good relationships with people. Um, you know, I just think it could do a lot more harm than good. You may not know because you don't know. I mean, you know, if you don't know, you don't know. You know, you don't know who's who or whatever, but at the same time, you don't know, you know. So there's that. You can take it both ways. You know, you don't know because you've never had the interaction with it. So if you didn't have it, you didn't miss it, or you won't miss it. But at the same time, you know, you could be giving up something really good based on the fact that, you know, you're judging them for something they don't have any control over. See, it's all American history. They separated us into groups by color. It's continued hundreds of years and generations. Right, right. You said I just made a word, shadeism. I won't complain. Um, yeah, I know people be hating on you. Yeah, but yeah, and you know, it is American history, and that in itself is like, oh my goodness, y'all. Like, um, oh my goodness, like history. That's that shit is a bitch. Okay, American history, the way that they did us, the way that they conditioned us, you know, and you know, taught us without educating us, because there's a difference. Okay, you can be taught, but you're not educated. Okay, and you know, that in itself. But see, that right there is where I feel like us as individuals need to break the chain somewhere. Somewhere it has to stop. Somewhere the cycle has to be broken. The circles have to be, you know, like we have to break that chain, right? Because if we just continue to lean back on what happened all of that time ago, how are we ever going to get any true resolution or any true change? We're not. Like, it's going to just be continual until the end of time. You know what I'm saying? So I just think that, you know, that's where, you know, somewhere down the line, people as individuals, it starts with one. My bad, it starts with one, you know, with me, with you, with, you know, our, you know, teaching our kids, and, you know, in our own individual interactions that we have with people who look different than us, you know. I mean, one thing would be for us to work together and support each other instead of separating each other based on who's popular or who you can benefit from, or who has more that you can get out of them, or, you know, what they look like. So, oh, I'm gonna fuck with them. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it just really needs to be, you know, people need to conduct themselves as individuals and as to, you know, what they want to see change in. And I just think that that's where we're going to see the difference at. That's where we're going to see the change at, you know. Um, but it's easier said than done. You know, it's definitely easier said than done. Um, it is not easy when you have, you know, it's all you know. It's, you know, how you grew up, or all you ever learned, you know, growing up, or all you ever saw. You know, it's very much so different to actually live it and be the change. It's not easy going against the grain. You know, it's definitely not easy. You know, a lot of times it's just better or easier to just be quiet and just go with, you know, what's natural to us. Um, you know, I get that as well, because it can be, you know, but at the same time, that means all we're doing is just going against ourselves if that's not how you truly feel. If you are just going with something because that's the way that you were taught and it's not truly the way you feel, then you're going against self. And once you go against self, you are, you're betraying a lot. I mean, it's one thing for a person to go against you, but for you to go against yourself, that's something totally different. Um, so I don't know, y'all. I mean, I've been talking for 30 minutes and nobody's come up, so I'm gonna go ahead and get off. Okay. I was just trying to open up a platform and a place where people could have a conversation about things that they see, things that they have an issue with. A lot of people say that they have an issue with colorism. They have a lot of issues with, that topic in itself. And that sort of thing. So, I mean, I'm definitely open to having the conversation again if, when more people are available or more people want to have the conversation. But, me having it by myself, I'm already, I don't treat people the way that, we're talking about. So I'm good. And my kids don't either. I'm already doing my work on my end. So, I'm just having the conversation. So I'm going to go ahead and get off, you guys, so I can finish getting dressed and go enjoy dinner with my family. And I will see y'all later.